I have found that this specific Colombian coffee is not my favorite because it has notes of peanut. And
peanut coffee.
I don't like a nutty coffee. You want to smell it? It probably, to smell it is probably, you're not going to be able to smell the nuts.
Didn't you? Well, yes, I feel like it smells like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Do you really? Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What you got in that cup?
Well, actually, let me talk about this cup for a second.
Yes, please do.
This was a Christmas gift. This is called an Ember. It's a
smart cup.
Smart cup. That's right. It keeps my coffee warm for a time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it is coffee in there.
Oh, it's definitely coffee.
Is it single origin coffee?
You know me.
Well, I'm over here with my green tea bag and a slice of lemon dunked in my...
You're a little bit on the raspy side today.
I am on the raspy side. And just for what it's worth, I coordinated both my mug and my earrings in Butterfly today with our Scott the Painter print behind us.
Do you want to talk about Scott the Painter print?
Well, we went to see Scott the Painter live in Atlanta a couple of years ago. And it was such an incredible show. We went with another friend of ours. And at the end, I saw this painting, and I'm pretty sure it's entitled Mary. And I got the print, and I got my granddaughter one too. So she has a matching one that hangs in her bedroom over her bed. And it's just amazing art and great symbolism for me. So it's kind of what we're doing here. We're using our voice to hopefully bring freedom to other people.
Yeah.
That's what I took from it.
And transforming into butterflies?
Sure. I have butterflies in my stomach most times when we start this, so maybe that's it too.
So, have you ever been to the chiropractor?
I have. I frequently go to the chiropractor for adjustments, primarily on my neck. But all good now. Yeah. Good. What about you? What's your experience with the chiropractor?
I grew up going to the chiropractor, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the word most commonly associated with chiropractic care would be aligned. And you're going in to be adjusted.
Yes.
In order to be...
To the end that
you are aligned.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about that today. Can you bring us or remind us of kind of how we got to alignment to begin with?
So talking through vulnerability to begin with. And vulnerability is that willingness to, with curiosity and honesty, take a look at and be able to articulate and name the feelings that surround any particular event. Exposure was a word we used. And there is a sense of exposing yourself, but it's for the purpose, and in a safe space, of course, but it's for the purpose of allowing yourself to be known and to eventually know others. So then the vulnerability led to a place of authenticity. These are hallmarks or core beliefs and things I value in myself. And then alignment comes as we operate from a place of authenticity. We show up in every space we are in alignment with that. So our inner beliefs and values and who we are at our core lines up with how we're actually living in different spaces.
Yeah. So all three are foundational to each other. And that's how we kind of got here to begin with. I think we started with, was it authenticity?
I think so.
And once we were teasing out the conversation, we realized, oh, we're missing a piece here.
Right.
So we just realized they were all foundational. And then I guess that leads us to, I should read the definition because it's so good. I don't want to miss anything or mess it up. But alignment often refers to the connection to our authentic self versus outside expectations. The congruence between our thoughts, intentions, and actions, or living in harmony with our core values and beliefs. So when we were teasing this out, we both asked each other the question, like, what are the words that come to mind when I say alignment? And so what were some that you thought of?
Well, I thought about the Rockettes. We thought about synchronized swimming, I think is what you said.
Braces. Military was another one that you said. When I said synchronized swimming, then I think that made you think of in sync,
Yes.
like being in sync. And then, of course, then we thought of,
Bye.
yes, the boy band.
Yes. Yes.
Which, in full disclosure, we had to play the song.
Yes.
And we're really looking for some deeper meaning in the lyrics, and we're left wanting.
Yes.
So that was just a good 90s reference for
Yes.
all of you guys out there.
But yeah, I think going back to the chiropractic example, if you are out of a line at any point in your spine or neck, it inhibits the flow of blood, energy, movement, and can continually bring other problems. And so when those are set right through adjustments, even though the adjustment for a moment is kind of painful and kind of freaky, you talked about when you were manually adjusted. What does that feel like?
Oh, man. My least favorite part about being adjusted was the neck time. He would put his hands around the back of my neck, and he'd be like, relax. And I was like, I know what's about to happen.
Yes,
and I
you
cannot
cannot
relax
relax.
because my life is in your hands. It's painful for a moment, but then obviously it all works together for things to be in alignment and for your body to be working better.
Yeah, I think higher function.
So maybe we should talk about how we feel when we're operating out of alignment, what that experience is like.
In a positive sense or misalignment?
Let's go for positive first.
Okay. What would you say?
I would say I definitely have more energy. I typically am better rested because I have inner peace. So I'm not wrestling with things. So I'm sleeping better. I think this is my experience. I think I'm more active. I think when I'm misaligned, my tendency is to want to spend time alone. And so I think when I am aligned, I feel more inclined to be around people and just be moving more. What about you?
I would definitely say I think when I'm aligned, I feel more creative. I feel like I have more ability to kind of think with clarity and like be a visionary. It seems like when I'm out of alignment, everything's a little bit muddled, like mentally for me. Or I just don't feel settled inside myself. I feel more insecure if I'm not in alignment. If I'm in alignment, then like you said, I think I sleep better. I contribute more of just like the fun parts, the lighter parts of my personality. I think there's kind of overall alignment, and then there's like, I don't want to say momentary alignment, but I think there's situational alignment. So overall alignment means we've referred back to as a pursuit of finding our authentic selves, that we need to spend time getting to know ourselves and be able to potentially articulate some of our core beliefs, our core values, our core truths about ourselves. But then there's situational, I think, alignment, where we experience a lot of times when we're creating content for this podcast. We can just kind of get in the minutia, and then all of a sudden we lose kind of like that vitality or that flow. Or then there's moments where all of a sudden we're like, oh my goodness, that right there is gold.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's a momentary or situational alignment that I know for sure, or I know when we're not really, it just seems itchy. It seems kind of uncomfortable. I'm getting frustrated. Those kinds of things make me feel like this maybe isn't, I'm not aligned in this moment.
Okay.
Okay. So what about you?
So a way for me to a way for me to know that I'm not in alignment is that there's going to be indications in my body, mentally, emotionally. My body is going to be saying something is up, or I'm going to feel friction. So I think that's important to understand, is that kind of what we've been saying for the past couple weeks, is that we have to be intentional about knowing ourselves, like being in tune with ourselves, in sync, so that we can know if there's friction at all. Because, I mean, if you're anything like me too, I think I have a tendency to go through life kind of numb or checked out. And so then I don't, not only do I not have these big mountains of joy and excitement, I don't have much friction either, because I'm just kind of coasting. So what I'm hearing you say is that there has to be times of reflection. You've got to be in touch with who you are and what your body's telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe in the divine, maybe what the spirit is telling you.
Sure.
So, and I think we're going to unpack this more on Wednesday and even Friday of really how to develop being in tune or how to be in alignment. But for the sake of today, I think just knowing, okay, so being in alignment is living out of my core values. So I have to know who I am.
Yeah.
And then I have to be vulnerable enough to move into that space and share. But then once I do move into that, being aware of what that feels like.
Sure.
When I feel aligned, when I am aligned, then I'm going to experience more energy. I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to maybe experience more depth in my relationships.
And just peace. I think you just feel a sense of peace.
Yes.
Like, it's like an exhale a little bit. Like this feels right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a rightness. And I think for anybody who has grown up maybe in a evangelical context, talking and thinking so much about ourselves and spending time really like sorting ourselves and thinking enough to know core truths about ourselves is not something we're really taught or is not promoted within that context.
Right.
And so I know that may seem a little bit nerve-wracking or a little off-putting. We've wrestled with this.
Yeah.
And yet if we maybe at some point on a blog post, we'll spend time fleshing out how I would argue that within the sacred text, specifically the Bible, you will find Jesus and the other writers of the text pushing us to know ourselves. Simply put, Jesus says to love others like you love yourself. So right there in one phrase, in one verse, you're going to find you have to be able to love yourself, but you can't love somebody you don't know. And so I would advocate to know yourself, to spend time thinking through is such a profitable exercise, not only for your own self, but for the contribution that you provide to your family, to those you live with, to your communities, to your work environments, to your school environments. You offer a better you to the world around you. So it's a wise endeavor and a worthy endeavor, I would say.
I totally agree. Okay, and this is Monday, so we're trying to not get into too much of the discussion because we want to save that for Wednesday. But we can't finish today without talking about boundaries, at least starting to talk about boundaries, because I think inevitably when you are making an effort to live aligned, then you have to say no to things that maybe you previously said yes to.
Or didn't say anything to.
Exactly. So let's spend a few minutes talking about boundaries.
Well, Deanna and I have totally different perspectives on boundaries because I probably grew up in a context in a home where saying no was easy and familiar, and not just hearing no, but saying no, and protecting my own space and my own autonomy. And not to the detriment of those around me necessarily, but just knowing what I wanted and what I didn't want, and being okay with also having opinions that may differ from other people, and just kind of being me. I feel like I grew up with a little more freedom in that. And so boundaries for me don't have such a negative connotation. In fact, I kind of see them as gifts to myself and to those around me. But you definitely have a different perspective growing up.
Yeah, I would just say that it's harder for me to say no. And maybe some of that is nature and some of it is nurture, but definitely has been something that in my adult life, I hate to say later on in my adult life, it's been a thing that I'm learning still. In fact, one of my clues for living in misalignment would be that I'm saying yes to things that really inside I'm saying no to.
I would advocate now, after sitting here, even just listening to you, that boundaries is actually saying yes.
Yeah.
And maybe if it's saying no, it is saying not right now or not in this way.
It's saying yes to this.
It's saying yes to yourself in that moment so that you can be aligned. So ultimately you can contribute your best self to that environment. But at the same time, it's one of the most kind things that you can do to yourself and for others.
Right.
Deanna and I kind of talked about this a little bit after raising children and now being a grandmother. I didn't hesitate at all to set boundaries for my children and let them know ahead of time what were expectations or what was off limits or what was going to be expected of them or whatever. And so, but now all of a sudden, as my children have grown up, and if I kind of overstep something, my children are pretty quick to be like, Ma, no, don't say that, or draw a boundary for me. And sometimes that's a little more uncomfortable because I didn't mind at all setting boundaries for them. But when I'm the recipient of those boundaries from someone who most of my life, we've had this power dynamic, but when that power dynamic is no longer relevant, it gets a little touchy.
Sure.
And so I think that's what I'd like to explore further on Wednesdays is being able to reframe the word boundary in such a good and healthy way. And maybe we'll change somebody's mind about that and empower them to sort through that for the benefit of themselves and those around them.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about boundaries.
Yeah.
Just because it's something that I have had to implement or learn about in recent years. And so many of these things that we're talking about, I'm in that space of like, hey, I'm trying these things in my life, or in my work and in my family. Yeah. So you're getting real time Deanna and real time Ange. Okay, so why does alignment matter?
To the end that you, as an individual, operate in the most holistic, authentic way, and then graciously give that to every space you end up in. I think that's why alignment matters. That there's a piece not only that you experience, but you then take that peace, you take that joy, you take that freedom, whatever the benefits of alignment may be in that moment, you take that into the context that you're walking into. Even if for a season there's some adjustment that has to happen and other people have to go, oh, she used to operate this way.
Right.
He used to be that way. I think we've learned through this that just like our bodies, sometimes after being adjusted,
there's some pain,
kind of freak out a little bit. And our muscles are like, wait, we had gotten used to your spine being that way.
Right.
And now you've been aligned. And so my muscles kind of freaked out even in my neck and my back. So too, my environment sometimes has been a little bit, wait a minute, you're no longer doing this way. You're no longer saying yes to me in this way. You're no longer okay with this tone or situation.
Yeah.
And so there is some adjustment.
The temporary discomfort of adjustment is worth the healing.
Yeah. And may just foster somebody else adjusting in the process.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for Wednesday.
Okay, we've got to leave with a challenge for us and for you.
The challenge is if someone were to observe your life, how you spend your time, your energy, and your money, what would they say about you? Ask friends, neighbors, coworkers, community, whoever, family members, how would they respond to this question? And then let's talk that through
On Wednesday.
Have a great one.